we are now in the dairy section, and it's really been interesting as we started to film. Everyone, Gustavo, you guys have all had questions. Greek yogurt, regular yogurt, almond milk yogurt, dairy, milk. What's the story with all this?
There's so many great options. So we know you want to include calcium fortified foods into your diet. Calcium is really important for all different age groups. We also know too, you get some vitamin D from these foods. You probably don't get enough. They say that you would need to have 10 servings of milk per day to get an adequate amount of vitamin D, what our bodies need. A lot of people are deficient. So the main focus in the dairy section, you want to focus on something that is skim or a low fat. So they say for children, you know, like once you're 1 and over, you should be switching down to a 1% or skim. Yeah, there's options everywhere. You know, I always say pick a yogurt that you're comfortable with. That's a 000.
What does that
low
mean?
Fat. It's going. Let's pull it. We can take a look at it.
Yeah, I'd like to look at.
Yeah. So probably no added sugar, low fat,
zero
and no
sugar,
artificial sweeteners.
Exactly, 0 added sugar, 0 artificial sweeteners, and 0 fat.
A benefit of this too, it has 15 grams of protein. So the Greek, a little bit higher in protein content. There's a lot of good benefits to having yogurt. So, you know, I say find one without a lot of extra sugar in it, one that you really like. There's some great products too, like the Activia. There's drinkable yogurts with high cultures in it, so there's some really great options.
What is a probiotic? I think a lot of us hear that word all the time, and I'm curious as to the advantages, or what is a probiotic?
So helping to build up the bacteria in the intestinal tract. A lot of times people have taken a lot of antibiotics, which break down that bacteria, and the probiotics help to build that up, to help with digestion. Sometimes it helps, you know, with soothing the stomach and digestion and just making sure everything stays in check.
How do you feel about people who put half and half or cream in there?
Sure. So generally that's something you want to limit, and it's really your choice. Sometimes people say, I need a little bit of cream or I need a little bit of milk. A small amount is okay. You can see there's a lot of different options, but the half and half is going to be much higher in saturated fat. There's a fat-free half and half too, which always makes me laugh. One over here.
How can that be?
Yeah, it has more milk solids in it. It is fat-free. Still has calories though. Sometimes you do the comparison of calories and it still has as much. A small amount of that is fine.
So we talked a little bit about 2/3 of my cart should be full of fruits and vegetables and things like that. Now we're coming into more meats. And I know Megan was actually curious about hot dogs. We've got ham, we've got better cheddar, we've got
a lot of different meats. Yeah. So the general thought is to try to limit your processed meats. And the main thing with the processed meats, just because of the higher sodium content, you're trying to keep your sodium content 2,000 milligrams or less.
Okay.
They know the average American consumes more than 4,000 milligrams of sodium, so you want to keep it as low as possible because we know the long-term effects related to blood pressure and heart disease. So make sure you keep it low. These would be things to choose occasionally. And then choosing more fresh meats would be the great option.
I just was going to say one thing that Dave really does well here at Piggly Wiggly is he has seasonal produce and seasonal fresh fish.
Definitely.
What's the advantage of that?
Sure. So higher nutrition content, we're going to stop here and look at some of the red meat too. So higher nutrition content if things are seasonal. And same with your produce. You want to choose things in season because they have not been sitting around for a while.
Yeah,
so
well that makes
higher
sense.
Nutritional content. Absolutely.
Let's talk red meat.
So let's talk about red meat. So you want to make sure you choose something without a lot of marbling. Yeah, so that's a great option. You look at that and you say there's not a lot of white and marbling, and it kind of goes against everybody's take on it. If you want a really tasty piece of red meat, people say, well, you need that marbling for all the good taste, but you're trying to stick with minimal marbling. I always say...
Even these, look at the stew meat without a lot of marbling. Now, could I just cut some of that out?
Definitely.
So I could trim some of this off?
Sure. And an option too, if you were choosing ground beef, The preference would be to have a 93%. I don't know if we see any in here today.
Less than 20%.
Yeah, so this would be a
80.
higher fat one. You
Right.
would want to choose 93% lean ground beef.
Okay.
And also, if
I
you're
love my ground turkey.
Ground turkey's a great option too. And the best option for ground turkey is choose ground turkey breast.
Yum.
Because if it's regular ground turkey, they're blending in other parts of the turkey, and it's actually high in saturated fat.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I don't even want to ask. That's sort of like hot dogs
Okay.
to me, right? Look at this.
It's beautiful. Look at the shrimp.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Fresh, local shrimp.
Yep.
Fresh scallops.
Sure.
Wow.
So fresh is best. You know,
Fresh
those are things
is
we want to
best.
choose. There's some really great options there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Heart Association guidelines say to choose fish 3 times per week is a
Okay.
great option. That's your minimum number of times in a fatty fish.
Mm-hmm.
And then other options too. We talk a lot about shrimp, especially being here in the low country with shrimp. A lot of people say, well, it has a lot of cholesterol. I should stay away from it. It may have some cholesterol, but it's low in saturated fat. It's a great option. It's all in the preparation too.
It
Are you going to
looks-
fry it? Are you going to
Yeah.
dip it in butter? You know, what are you doing with that?
I'm going to steam it in beer.
steam it in beer. Good option.
But I mean,
Right.
or steam
Of
it in
course.
water. It's really good.
And that's a really great option.
Well, let's talk about salmon too. Here's fresh salmon, and salmon, that's also a good fish.
Oh, definitely.
I love
That's
that.
a wonderful option. So, you know, we look at serving sizes too, looking
Mm-hmm.
at some of these fish and some of the protein serving. We say try to use the size of the palm of your hand for a serving size.
So would the tuna be a little bit large?
A little bit, yeah, but that's, you know, a little thicker than that. Use the size of the thickness of your hand and
Okay.
also similar portion to that palm. That's a great option. Salmon, very high in omega-3
Mm-hmm.
content.
Oh, this is so delicious. All right, we're walking down by breads and goodies like that.
Sure.
So you're not flinching. So you're not saying don't eat bread. Don't
Right,
do
no,
things like that.
definitely not. If you're choosing bread, and we can take a look and walk
And
down
I kind
here,
of am looking
look
at breads
some
and
labels.
cereals and
Sure.
things like that.
So the main thing to look for if you're choosing breads or any type of a grain product, you want to choose something with fiber. So
Okay.
each serving should have 3 grams of fiber,
Okay.
right? So
Yes.
trying to get away from the white bread and the white rice and things that are processed where they've stripped the grains and all
Out
that
of it,
goodness out of
okay.
it. If you can get a fresh bread, that's a great option. Here, we can walk down and take a look at some of these.
Exactly. Holly made a quick turn here. Oh,
I
look,
did.
Look. Here's 15 grain, oatmeal, whole wheat.
Sure. So you're taking a look and you want to look at the grams of fiber. So your goal, here you go,
Here's-
1 slice. This is a perfect option. 130 calories. It has 22 grams of carbs and it has 3 grams of dietary fiber. That
So
would be
this
a
would
great
make you
option.
happy.
Of course, that would be a really good option.
Huh. 70 calories, honey wheat. I wonder, oftentimes when I read labels, I get confused where I'm not really sure what I am looking at.
Sure.
No artificial preservatives, check. No artificial colors. 27 grams of whole grain for
Right.
2.
And one thing you want to look at too when you look at a label, let's see if we can turn around here. So you look at the ingredients. So
Okay.
what is most in a food product or a label is going to be listed first.
So what is most in this one?
Whole wheat flour.
Okay.
And then water. So that's the main thing. If you see sugar listed first,
Put
it's
it-
something that you should put
Put it
back.
back.
Yeah. So
Hard to-
obviously these are things where you're going to get carbohydrates for sure.
Okay.
We know you're going to get some carbohydrates, but if you get the benefit of the fiber in it, that's a good option.
And I don't know where grains are. We'll kind of keep walking. But what about grains? Couscous,
Oh,
quinoa.
there's so many wonderful options of grains and even the ancient grains,
Yes.
and there's some really wonderful options. So, you know, quinoa, try some new things. There's good
Exactly.
recipes out there, a lot of wonderful things to try.
So many of us, all of us, work and have kids at home.
Sure.
What do you think about rotisserie chickens and some of the things that are pre-made and really, frankly, easy to grab?
Sure. There's a lot of great products now at the stores where vegetables are cut up and things are prepared, or you can get a meal that you just assemble on your own at
Exactly.
home. It's already put together for you and you can cook that. That's absolutely fine. Rotisserie chicken may be a little bit higher in sodium because it's been injected to make it flavorful, but it's a good option.
But it's
still
a
fast
good
option.
Do
Definitely.
you just peel the skin off? Is that what
Sure.
you recommend for
Yep,
that?
absolutely.
Let me ask you a question about diet as far as amount of time to eat. Do you like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Has that changed? 5 small meals? Is it according to my age or what I need?
Definitely 3 meals per day and then some snacks in between. So you should be trying to do smaller frequent meals during the day is a good option. I wouldn't skip all of your meals and save it up and say I'm going to have a really big dinner tonight. Split it up during the day. It's best for your metabolic rate.
Why is that?
For your metabolism.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it just keeps it going. You're
Definitely.
fueling the furnace a
Yes.
little at a time.
Absolutely.
Well, I tell you what, going through the grocery store has always been fun for you and I. It's like my favorite thing to do with
Me
Holly,
too.
and she loves it too. And I think we've got some good options. And again, I think it's really interesting to have takeaways and demonstrate what we talk about here on Healthy Living. So, Holly, thank you. We want to thank all of you for joining us here on Healthy Living. Have a great week. Bye-bye.